Hello, dears. Or maybe that should be howdy.
From the Chalk Mountains.
From what?
The Chalk Mountains. People say that they're in Mexico. I mean, Texas.
And other places.
And other places, but, you know, Texas.
I might have thought Dover instead. Hey. So let's start with a merging heart tune. All right? Jim, would you start? Thank you, love. That was lovely, really lovely. Without a clump, no less. That's pretty good. So how's the month been for you?
Busy.
Just started.
For how many of you you feel sort of like October was a miniature version of the whole year? And it's a year you're glad to be finished with.
Yes.
How many of you would agree with that? 'Twas a month of a lot of minor energy flows coming into you, and a lot of direction toward manifestation and gratitude. So I found that many guardians were feeling sort of like, this is what I don't want in my life anymore. This is what, and not necessarily what was going on, but a real clarity about what I don't want as a part of the greater what I do want. November is going to continue with that until about the middle of the month, when things are going to change in a very big way. So, what is November going to be for you? Because it's about creation. So what are you going to create? Kathy, what are you doing there?
It's open and
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Aye. So what are you going to create for November? You act like I've never asked a question like this before. I love.
I'm going to create beauty in November.
Oh.
I'm going to create lots of color and beauty and joy in November.
Anyone else want some of that? Because this is the month in which you're going to find if you don't ask for it, you're not going to get it. So you want to ask for it. What are you going to create in November?
Thanksgiving.
Yes, yes. Many, many things to be grateful for, to be grateful about, as well as your holiday, Thanksgiving, right? Now, if you forget the whole idea behind the propaganda that made a holiday, one of the crazier stories I think I've heard, the pilgrims got together with the local natives. No, what the pilgrims brought the natives was
Disease.
death and destruction, yes. However, Thanksgiving, now that's going to be right after the change in energy, which really is about midway in your month. What do you want your Thanksgiving to be? Just think about it. I'm not asking you to answer that. I'm just saying, think about this. Think about this. Decide what it is you're creating.
I'm going to create a little more balance and more of a foundation for balance and just being in a regular rhythm and flow.
Good, good, good. And what do you need to do to create that balance in your life? What do you need to do to create a good flow? So think about that. For most of you, the answer is prioritize. Take a look at what it is you want in your life. And then compare that to what you have going in your life. Do they look anything alike? What you want, where things are? If not, what do you need to do to bring about the what you want out of the what you have? And that is where your priorities come in. When you had the eclipse timeline shifts, you also had a marked change that all of your world is noticing, is that time is going by so quickly now. More important than ever before to prioritize what you want, what you're willing to do to bring it about. It's important for you to know what really doesn't matter so much to you, just as it is to know what does. Balance, flow, that's a good one.
A strong physical form. And
Well said.
Healing.
Yes, yes. For both of you. Yeah. Aye. So, how are you going to prioritize? What are you going to put forth? What are you willing to do to have that strong physical form, to receive that healing? A quick reminder with regard to healing, you receive what you give. When you are in need of healing, you want to be sure that you are sending out healing energy to those who need it. Now, just in this room, for whatever reason, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, for the purpose of giving those who need healing somebody to focus on, who here could use a little healing wholeness sent your way? Why all of your hands aren't up, I'm not sure, but now look around and I want you to notice, because you're wanting healing energy, that means you're going to give it out. And what you give out in love is going to come back to you amplified. So healing, give it to get it. What else do you want this month? And I'm only going to take, 1 or 2 more. Aye.
Opportunities
Opportunities, nice. For
for generating income
good,
in,
good.
in work that is fulfilling and good. And so,
Well, it's very clear to me, love, that you've thought about this because he did two key things in there. Did you catch them? What were they?
To generate income, work to generate income, and work that's fulfilling.
Bang, bang. Yes, right there. He wasn't, I want more clowning gigs, or I want more writing gigs, or it was, I want to generate income. And the caveat that so often gets forgotten is to enjoy it. Doing something that is enjoyed. How many of you in your life have done something you did not enjoy? Again, that should be every hand in here. So the key in there is manifest what you love. Manifest what you are enjoying. When you make that joy a common part of your life, like your smile. When your love and laughter is as much you as any other solid part of your life, then you are going to draw love and laughter to you. You're going to draw the opportunity to do what you love because you are putting out that you love what you're doing. So keep that focus going. Aye.
since I spoke that, I have manifested $1 million bill there. That was just passed
That's
back.
pretty fast. Aye.
Well, my desire for November is to raise my competitive edge with both my dogs.
Ooh.
To raise our paradigm, deepen our relationship, and really be able to focus on how I help them understand what I'm asking them.
Communication,
Communication.
connection. Lovely, lovely. Now, Mary is directing it most specifically with her dogs. But you're going to find throughout November relationships and the connections and your communication is going to be very much the forefront because, as you know, the universe is so good. It's always bringing to you what you need to be your best. And relationships are the easiest way to do that. Now, some of you know that that pretty much means put on your seatbelt, yes? And be prepared to consciously focus on being your most loving self. Because as you function as your most loving self consciously, you are going to automatically be seeing, I don't think that's accurate. You are automatically going to see that flowing into your relationships. Pay attention there, because everything in your life is relationships. Relationships with the creatures, relationships with the plants, which are doing a whole lot of change in your climate right now. Relationships with minerals, relationships with each other. Conscious connection, conscious communication, all based in love. Will you strip it? Anything else I'm going to start banging around on? Well, sometimes they're long enough I can just stuff them away when it's forgotten, but that, I don't think that is.
She said that both of them are.
Aye, well, second mistake. Not taking it off was the first. Some days are awake and some days aren't. Although usually for the month of November, I like to talk to you about gratitude and remembering the importance of gratitude. That's really not the direction that I'm wanting to go altogether. It is very vital that you remember, however, that gratitude opens the door to manifestation. And as you are working this month on manifestation, the more you are expressing gratitude, the more positive manifestation you're going to bring into your life. It is an equal exchange. Gratitude, positive manifestation. Gratitude for the big things, gratitude for the little things. I once gave an assignment, this has been several years, to write down everything that you're grateful for. I shortened that at one point. Write down 100 things you are grateful for. Since then, I have shortened it even further, come up with 5 things, although the 5 things is when I've got you right here doing it. The more that you find you are grateful for. I'm grateful that this building is here. I'm grateful for the lights that make everything available to see. I am grateful for furniture that has been given for this purpose. I am grateful for everything. Then you're going to be finding that you are manifesting everything. It's so simple. Gratitude equals your power of manifestation. So be grateful for everything. Do not let your mind fall into the old patterns of negativity, the old patterns of neutrality, and only take on the patterns of loving gratitude. What are you grateful for? All right, that just handled Thanksgiving, all right?
Next.
I will transition here. Or I think I can make it sound like Thanksgiving still. When you are thinking about holidays of any kind, you often think about a gathering of family. And the fact of it is, for most guardians, the family of your blood is not necessarily the family of your heart. It's not that they are not, it's just you're adults and hopefully you're not still living at home. And that would be a little awkward for some of you, don't you think? And for most guardians, you grew up not feeling particularly like you were a strong part of that family. In fact, I would warrant that some of you even wondered if you were adopted. Because guardians tend to be the different one in the family. Now, I would tell you that that's because you are thinking in a much greater viewpoint, that you are functioning in a very high level. And most families, not all of them, most other people in the world do not function in that same way. And that is why you enjoy being together with each other, because you have somebody who understands the spiritual side of things in a way that relates better to you. Some, particularly now those who are young, have families who are guardian, and they rely on you to help them grow up without the kind of instabilities that you had. Nonetheless, the instabilities that you had growing up affect the way, here it comes again, every relationship you have shows itself. And if you grew up with examples, whether it was your direct immediate family or not, but if you grew up with examples of loving, embracing, accepting relationships, then as an adult, you learned as well to emulate that and have loving, accepting, embracing relationships. If you grew up without that, then you grew up with some eccentricities. And that's where I wanted to go tonight. You are a remarkable being of love and light. You are a function of source in this world. You are very special. And I would tell you that your universe does indeed revolve around each one of you. Your relationship with that self, that magnificent being of love and light, is vital to the coming time and your coming time. When I said eccentricities, I was thinking of things like the fears that have to do with commitment and giving. The fears that come up about loving fully, lest somebody feel you are, too much, not enough. The fears that come with not having a good view of your true self, of growing up always knowing there is more, but not seeing it in the world around you, and how discouraging that can be. Growing up having particular gifts. and learning to hide the gift of your true spirit so that you could fit in and be all right. These experiences that are common to many who work at high spiritual frequencies, but absolutely a part of the life of those who have grown up awake and activated. These kind of experiences teach you to fear the world you're living in and cause you to not want what this world has to offer you. That sense of always feeling like you're not really a part of it can create somebody who only wants to go home, meaning home in the larger sense. Dissatisfied with your life, with your experience here. Unhappy. Because it's not back on the home world. Because it's not functioning in full oneness, because there are so many things here that are hidden to the human self. It's an indulgent attitude that totally dismisses the power of what this planet and this plan can offer. You're only unhappy here to the extent that you're not functioning at your highest. And it's not the world that creates those issues for you. It's your sense of not being your truest, highest frequency self. The disappointments, the difficulties, the problems that you run into in this world are equal to the lack of frequency that you are living compared to what you could be living. Choosing, and I always use a scale of 1 to 10, although it's about as inaccurate as it could be, choosing to live at 5 means that you're going to be unhappy about half the time. Choosing to live at less than your potential means that you're constantly going to be judging yourself by what your highest potential is. And when you are judging yourself by that highest potential, everything around you becomes the blame for it. Here is the reason why this isn't working. Here is the reason why I am unhappy. Here is the reason. Drama is the result of a lack of I'm going to say passionate, but I don't mean sexual passion. Drama is the result of a lack of passion in your life. You have a lot of people in your lives who thrive on drama. You know what I'm talking about when I say thrive on drama? How do you deal with someone else's drama? Think about that someone in your life who has a lot of drama. I promise I'm going to bring this back around to you. But think about an individual who constantly has stuff going on.
I try not to engage in it. I try to
Don't engage it. What do you mean by that?
well, don't give it a whole lot of energy.
Good.
Don't get too involved in questioning or commenting, or just listen and just not be attached. And then I will also do things that help me balance myself within that.
Consciously remember to stay balanced within the situation. Do not feed it. Do not give it energy. That's good. What else do you do?
Stay out of the line of fire.
Stay out of the line of fire, at least as much as you can. What else do you do?
Learning to become a mirror where you bring it in, clean it up for them, and give them back love. Send the bad stuff away.
Realize that I'm going to shape that a little. Realize that what you are doing is working with an energy process. So you may choose to take in that energy, move it through your heart, and send it back out as conscious love. Accord work is a good visual, if you need one, for doing that. Imagine that you have a cord coming from your heart or the center of your forehead. Both, really, it doesn't matter. And it goes to that person while you are standing there. As it filters through you, functioning in love, it, as Violet has said, cleans it up. It flows through pure love and releases the parts that would attach to you, which very often you are in the path of somebody's drama because you have a connection with them and their drama attaches to you. Your love releases that, makes it whole, sends it back. So cord to cord can do that if a visual helps. Otherwise, simply thinking about what it is you're doing so that you are doing it consciously shifts. What else do you do?
Send healing wholeness.
Send healing wholeness consciously again. while you're getting the drama.
I try and open up a different perspective.
Good, good.
So that that person can maybe see there are other options besides what they're participating in.
Very good, very good.
I remind myself of this Sylvester the cat cartoon that he's pointing and he says, "Would you be terribly offended if I told you to take your silly ass problem down the hall?" and what that does for me is it lightens up my mood, but also reminds me that it's their issue and that I don't need to take it on. It also reminds me that I shouldn't be so blunt about telling them to take their silly ass problem down the hall.
It is very possible that in this coming month, really at any given time in your life, you're going to find yourself faced with drama, particularly family drama. And when you are faced with it, all of these are excellent things for you to remember to do. I'm going to threaten you and then tell you what to do about it. The threat is you're going to get caught up in it. As I mentioned a moment ago, those hooks, because of your emotional connection with this one, those hooks touch you and trigger whatever your personal fears are. That's why being around somebody who has a lot of drama can be exhausting for you. If it's drama that you see happening while you're sitting at the doctor's office and it's somebody else, you may feel compassion, you may feel empathy, but it doesn't hook you in. It's that connection you have with the other that hooks you in. And when that connection is with one who, as you grew up, was meant to be a part of your security system, then it's especially hard to let go of. What are the facts behind this drama? When you're talking to somebody who has a dramatic view of everything, they tend to talk a whole lot like I do, in big, broad strokes, with lots of superlatives. Except it's usually big, broad strokes of why things aren't so good. How they have been harmed. How things are not going well for them. How you don't understand them. What are the facts? You often are able to dispel the drama simply by asking them to tell it to you in a sentence instead of 12 or 15 or 30 or 40. Tell me what happened in as few words possible. Just the facts, ma'am? Say it again?
Sergeant Joe Friday.
Just the facts, ma'am.
TV show,
TV show.
50s.
All right. what are the facts in the situation? What are the facts as you know it? What are the facts as they know it? Look for facts first. Now, that's not actually first, because first is going to be all of those things, getting out of the line of fire and sending that love and putting out healing, wholeness, and all of those very good spiritual things that you automatically do, right? Right. But if you are in a situation in which you are engaged, then the first thing you need to do is find those facts. What actually happened? Pull out the emotion, only the dry facts. What exactly happened? Hear it, feed it back. Is this what happened? By the way, if the dramatic person you are talking to, idea of one single sentence is about 2 minutes long, then you boil it down and say, is this what happened? Make it as few words as possible, just the facts. Take out the emotion. Take out the I'm going to go ahead and say the compassion and empathy. Just, is this what you're saying? Step 2 with that. They're either going to say yes or no, but your next statement is not, well, here's what you can do, and it's not, well, that's just awful. It's, what can you do? What can you do?
Me or they?
Them. You're going to ask, all right, I believe you said this is what happened, is that right? Okay, what can you do about it, with it, for it? What can you do? It's not your action to take. You're putting it right to them. All right, what can you do? If you hear yourself make a statement that is referencing yourself in any way, well, I did this in that situation. Or, well, I sort of feel like you're feeding the drama. You're adding to the process. Let it go. No I statements. Your job then is to listen. And if they don't come up with anything they can do, your job is to work them toward that. Well, there's probably something that you could do when they say, there's nothing, I'm just stuck. When you're dealing with a dramatic person, giving it back to them in love, and showing them a place they can be empowered will usually teach them not, I'm empowered, here is what I can do. It's going to teach them you're not the person to spill their drama on. And that's what you want, right?
It takes away the fun for them.
It takes away the fun. I'm not sure most people who live in a lot of drama think it's fun. But yes, that sense of is how they start living. Aye.
Well, sometimes there might be a level of inability to do anything about it. Is there anything wrong with pointing out, then why let it affect you? Or why take it on? Or?
Try to see if you can get them to say that by realizing there's nothing I can do. I'm just the victim here. Well, all right, as the victim, what can you do? Nothing. I said nothing. Then do nothing. Don't feed it. Try not to tell them what to do. Try to get them to figure it out. Now, here is why I'm giving you this very odd. Relationships are going to be intense. You're going to run into some people who are filled with drama kind of warning.
Because we're going to Thanksgiving dinner?
Because you're going to Thanksgiving dinner, yes, yes. But your world is building up to a major energy surge at the end of this year. And like any major energy flow, there is a small amount of build-up toward that peak and a small amount of letdown afterwards. It is vital that you are able to function at your best and highest without being caught in the up and down of those who do not know how to deal with change. Change is hard for so many people. You have, particularly in your country right now, political drama, financial drama, and relationship drama as three major conversation points in most surface or deep relationships. That's unhealthy. And allowing it to be so normalized, to be acceptable, is going to stop them from spiraling higher, and instead they'll be spiraling lower. Now, your job isn't to change other people. Your job is to change yourself. But when somebody puts themselves into your space and unloads all of the difficulties they are experiencing, you become a pivot point for them. they are expressing their drama. You are changing it into love. That point where they meet is a pivot point. You are going to affirm their negative mindset and way of seeing life, or you are going to affirm a positive mindset and a way of healing and seeing your world differently. Which world do you want to live in? The constantly downward spiral, or the moving toward a higher and higher function? Over the next probably 40, 50 days, you're going to have opportunities to help somebody change their very direction in life. But which way that goes is going to have a lot to do with your ability to help guide that conversation. And you're not going to be able to do that if you are not regularly, consciously functioning in that place of higher love anyway. So, that's November for you. It's a good time. I say that now. It is a good time to begin moving yourself into a place of figuring out what it is you want your next year to be about. To think about the kinds of relationships you want in your life. To think about what you want to manifest. It's a good time to make your spiritual, social connections so that you have a family of your heart. That can help you feel fulfilled. That's so hard for me to say one after the other. To feel fulfilled and not so prone to fall into someone else's drama because you don't have passion yourself. You're moving into a time with a lot of opportunities for you to overdo your own version of drama, to overdo your finances, to overdo your expectations, to overdo your wants and needs. It's a time in which you're going to be looking at what really matters. And the first 15 days of this month, as I talked to you about at the very beginning, is going to be helping you direct into that manifestation and gratitude balance that you're going to be needing for the next 45 days or so. And if that addition was correct, ooh, ooh. So what do you need to do to be ready? I can't answer that for you. Oh, is that my own? We really want you to tell us what to do. What do you need to do? Listen to you. The easiest way to know which voice is in your head to listen to, because you've got a lot. Some louder than others, is to put yourself into a place of pure love. To put yourself into a place of very high frequency experience. And then ask. And here is the way I'd recommend you do that. Think about a time in which you felt fully loved. Think about a time in which you felt fully loving. And they don't have to be the same experience. When you're thinking about a time in which you felt so loved, maybe you were with somebody, maybe you were with one of the creatures, maybe you were with just yourself out in a place of beauty. Maybe it was just one of those moments. But you felt fully loved. Now, a quick aside. You're recognizing your lovability. Is that a word?
Good one.
It's a very important part of your whole self. And it shifts you out of your human self and into a higher spiritual awareness. You are lovable. You are loved. Second one, think about a time in which you were freely, fully loving. Maybe you were looking into Sophie's beautiful little face and seeing that return to you. Maybe you were looking at the beauty of the world you were living in and just felt yourself pouring out the love. Maybe it was a magnificent event such as the eclipse, or maybe for those of you who were there, that absolutely over-the-top ritual in Arkansas. But you were pouring out love. And then put those two experiences of love together so that you can remember loving and being loved as a whole picture. When you're able to fully connect in to that love, you are automatically functioning at a higher level. When you're functioning consciously like that with love, anchor it into yourself. Now, what do I mean when I say anchor it into yourself? Maybe you want to touch your heart, or maybe put your fingers together, or do something that you can do standing in line at the grocery, though, okay? Anchor it so that anytime you touch your heart or put your fingers together, you're going to be able to pull those thoughts back up. Now, you're not going to have it in the full sense around, but your body and your brains remember it. You've got that connection going because you set it up when you were fully immersed into it. That love shifts you. And when you are shifted, everything functioning in your world shifts as well. So that love becomes the time, the place, the way to put out what it is you want, to bring in what it is you want, to change the way you are feeling, to help change the way those who are standing in your universe are feeling. Putting yourself into that full function of love and being able to return to it is going to be the vital key that not only you, but your world needs of you. Use that. Move with that. All right. You have been duly warned.
And tasked.
And tasked.
Yeah.
Don't make it hard. Keep it easy. Keep it fun. And remember, too, that a lot of times the universe dangles portals in front of you. I've been telling you for quite some time that people are going. Animals are going. Plants are going. The minerals are in mastery. They're not going anywhere. Do not think that there's anything more going on than the universe reminding you that you are always the one who has the choice. Prioritize what you want. Know what you don't want. Live your love to the fullest. Pay attention to the relationships you are in, and tamp down the drama within those who affect you and, of course, within yourself. This is an important time. It could be a very fun time. Make it your best time. Look in the mirror.